Hello, dear friends. I'm Alder Santos, and welcome to our channel, Baseball Legends. Few players in Major League Baseball history possessed as many athletic tools as Raúl Mondesí. With a cannon of an arm, explosive speed, impressive power. At the plate, and a natural instinct for the game, he seemed tailor-made to dominate modern baseball. Hailing from the talented wave of Dominican players in the 1990s, Mondesí not only shined as a rookie, earning the Rookie of the Year award, but quickly established himself as one of the most complete athletes in the league. His aggressive, bold, and spectacular style of play drew attention every time he stepped on the field, but Raúl Mondesí's journey didn't end on MLB diamonds. After years of success wearing the uniforms of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Toronto Blue Jays, and New York Yankees, he took an unusual path for former baseball players. He entered politics in his home country, the Dominican Republic. There, he won votes, led his hometown of San Cristobal, and aimed to replicate his athletic success in the political arena. However, the second chapter of his public life would be marked not by applause, but by negative headlines and serious accusations. Watch this video until the end and tell us in the comments. Do you remember watching Raúl Mondesí play? Do you think he received the recognition he deserved in MLB, or was his career overshadowed by controversies? We want to hear your opinion. This mix of athletic brilliance and political controversy made Raúl Mondesí both a unique and polarizing figure. As a true five-tool player, he was a nightmare for pitchers and base runners alike. But off the field, he faced very different battles. In this video, you'll get to know every detail of this dramatic story: the rise of a Caribbean star, his meteoric ascent in MLB, his historic achievements, and the surprising fall that took him from packed stadiums to courtrooms. Get ready for an intense journey through one of the most intriguing careers in modern baseball. Raúl Mondesí was born on March 12, 1971, in San Cristobal, a city known for producing athletic talent in the Dominican Republic. From a young age, Mondesí showed a natural ability for sports, especially baseball, which was more than just a local passion. It was woven into the country's cultural identity. Even as a child, he began to stand out in amateur leagues and youth tournaments, catching attention not just for his speed and physical strength, but for his game instincts that seemed beyond his age. With a powerful arm and quick reflexes, Mondesí soon became a well-known figure on the region's dusty sandlot fields. As a teenager, his reputation as a promising player spread quickly. He impressed not only with his confident demeanor, but also with his rare combination of bat power and base-running agility. His playing style was aggressive but calculated, and he stood out for playing with intensity on every single play. Local coaches and international scouts began attending his games, recognizing there was something special about this young Dominican. It wasn't long before he started training more seriously, refining his defensive skills in the outfield and adjusting his swing to compete against tougher pitchers. Gradually, the opportunity for an international career became real. The Los Angeles Dodgers, who had an active scouting network in the Dominican Republic, signed Mondesí as an amateur free agent in 1988. The organization saw him as a long-term project, someone who could develop with patience and hard work. That investment began to pay off quickly in the minor leagues, where he swiftly adapted to the level of competition and showed signs he could become a star. Transitioning from a modest life in the Dominican Republic to the rigorous training routines in the U.S. wasn't easy, but Mondesí displayed maturity and determination far beyond his years. His promising start in professional baseball reflected not just his natural talent, but also the resilience he had built from a young age back in his homeland. He carried with him the pride of being Dominican and the responsibility of representing a generation of youth who dreamed of reaching MLB. San Cristobal saw in Mondesí a hometown hero who could go further than anyone before, and he embraced that pressure positively, using it as motivation. His development in the minors was rapid, and before turning 23, he was making his debut in Major League Baseball. Raúl Mondesí's journey from the improvised fields of his town to the grand stadiums of the United States is a story of perseverance, dedication, and raw athletic talent. Raúl Mondesí made his long-awaited Major League Baseball debut in 1993 with the Los Angeles Dodgers and immediately captured the attention of fans, coaches, and sports writers. Coming off a solid minor league foundation, he arrived with high expectations, but few could have predicted the immediate impact he would have. With an impressive physique, explosive speed on the base paths, and an exceptionally strong arm. In the outfield, Mondesí quickly proved he was ready for the big stage. His playing style was dynamic and thrilling. He ran the bases aggressively, made diving catches in the outfield, and showed real power at the plate. All of this made him one of the most complete and versatile rookies of his generation. During his first full season in 1994, Mondesí elevated his game even further, earning the National League Rookie of the Year award. He finished the season with a .306 batting average, 16 home runs, 56 RBIs, and 11 stolen bases in just 112 games. Impressive numbers, especially considering the season was shortened due to the players' strike. His energy on the field was contagious, and he quickly became a central figure in the Dodgers roster. Combining strength, speed, and defensive ability, Mondesí represented a new generation of Latin American players who were reshaping the face of MLB during the 1990s. The impact of his debut wasn't just statistical, it was symbolic. He became one of the first Dominican players in Dodgers history to achieve instant stardom, opening the door for future generations. His presence was a source of pride for the Latino community in Los Angeles, who saw their own stories of struggle and triumph reflected in his path. Moreover, the Dodgers, long known for their strong international scouting, saw in Mondesí living proof that investing in Dominican talent paid off. He became not only a star on the field, but also an informal ambassador for his country. Within the league point, one of the most impressive aspects of Mondesí's debut was his competitive maturity. Even when facing the best pitchers in the world, he showed patience at the plate and a sharp understanding of the game. His defense in right field became one of the most respected in the league, especially due to his powerful arm, which commanded respect from opposing base runners. Many players hesitated to try advancing to third base when a ball was hit his way. They knew Mondesí had the accuracy and strength to throw them out with a single toss. That combination of offensive threat and defensive excellence made him a rare commodity in MLB. His aggressive yet intelligent style quickly earned the respect of veterans and elevated his status within the team. On a roster that included names like Mike Piazza, Hideo Nomo, and Eric Karros, Raúl Mondesí soon became a cornerstone for the Dodgers. He brought balance to a rebuilding team, contributing not just stats, but also charisma and competitive energy. Fans saw him as a symbol of hope for the future, someone who could lead the Dodgers back to the playoffs. And even in his early years, Mondesí was willing to shoulder that responsibility, delivering clutch performances in key games as the seasons passed. The impact of his 1993 debut continued to resonate. Raúl Mondesí wasn't just an exciting rookie. He marked the beginning of a new era for the Dodgers, defined by versatile athletes and a strong international presence. His arrival brought a fresh dynamic to the team and redefined what was expected of a modern outfielder, someone capable of changing the course of a game with either the bat or the glove. His immediate success paved the way for a career marked by individual accolades and league-wide respect, solidifying his name as one of the great Dominican talents of the 1990s. In 1994, Raúl Mondesí reached one of the most important milestones of his career by being named the National League Rookie of the Year, establishing himself as one of the most promising talents in baseball. In his first full season with the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mondesí displayed a rare combination of aggressiveness, power, and baseball intelligence. Despite a player's strike that shortened the season, he posted impressive numbers: a .306 batting average, 16 home runs, 56 RBIs, and 11 stolen bases in just 112 games. These results cemented his status as a constant threat both on offense and defense. The award honored not only his offensive output, but also his presence on the field. Mondesí showed uncommon maturity for a rookie, playing every play with intensity, running the bases with boldness, and flashing a cannon of an arm in right field. His defense stood out as much as his offense, as he could gun down runners with long, accurate throws, often catching opponents by surprise. That balance between offense and defense was key to him surpassing other candidates for the award and becoming the first Dominican player to win National League Rookie of the Year, an achievement that had international impact, more than statistics. What defined Mondesí's 1994 campaign was his instinctive energy. He played with emotion, with visible passion, something that excited Dodgers fans and caught the media's attention. His presence at the plate was intimidating, and his ability to make an immediate impact in big games made him a crucial part of the team. At a time when many rookies debuted cautiously, Mondesí entered the league like a hurricane, determined to show that he belonged among baseball's elite. The Rookie of the Year award was thus a recognition that he hadn't just come to compete, he had come to dominate. By winning that title, Mondesí also elevated the importance of Latin American players in the MLB spotlight. His instant success gave even more visibility to the talent being developed in the Dominican Republic, reinforcing the region's role as a pipeline for elite athletes. For young Dominicans, seeing one of their own shine in the United States during his first full season served as both inspiration and motivation. Mondesí's 1994 achievement was more than a personal award. It was a cultural and symbolic milestone that represented the power of diversity in baseball and opened doors for future generations of Caribbean stars in Major League Baseball. Mondesí was one of the few players in MLB history who could be described as a true five-tool player, an all-around athlete who excelled in every aspect of the game. He had the power to hit home runs, the speed to steal bases, an exceptional arm for long, accurate throws, consistent defensive ability in the outfield, and good bat control to maintain a respectable batting average. This combination made him unpredictable for opponents and extremely valuable for any team. In his best years with the Dodgers, he was both an offensive threat and a defensive wall, capable of influencing the outcome of a game with any of his tools to the plate. Mondesí didn't just hit for power, he also had the ability to adjust his swing depending on the game situation. His strength led to 20 to 30 home run seasons, but he also knew how to make contact and drive in runs at key moments. Defensively, his arm was legendary. From right field, Mondesí racked up dozens of assists by throwing out runners with pinpoint throws, many without the need for a relay. On top of that, his speed on the bases made him a constant threat. In his early years, he regularly stole over 20 bases per season, capitalizing on any mistake or hesitation by pitchers or catchers. Being a five-tool player is rare because it requires a physical and technical balance that few can sustain over a full career. Mondesí not only possessed these tools, but he knew how to use them with intelligence and intensity. He stood out both in highlight moments and in the subtle details of the game. A player who could tip the scales with a big hit, a daring base run, or a brilliant defensive play. His versatility made him a central piece in any lineup, and his presence raised the level of competitiveness on the field. That's why Mondesí is remembered not just as a dominant talent, but as a rare example of athletic completeness in modern baseball. Raúl Mondesí became part of an extremely exclusive group of players in MLB history by reaching seasons with at least 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases, a feat that demands a rare combination of power and speed. He achieved this twice, in 1997 and 1999, both with the Los Angeles Dodgers. In 1997, he hit 30 home runs and stole 32 bases. 2 years later, in 1999, he recorded 33 home runs and 36 stolen bases. These numbers put Mondesí on the radar as one of the most complete players in the league, someone who could provide offensive power while remaining a constant threat on the base paths. Achieving a 30-30 season is not just a display of physical talent, but also of consistency and discipline over the course of 162 games. Mondesí not only had the explosiveness to hit the ball out of the park, but also the instincts and game awareness necessary to pick the right moments to run. In a sport where most players specialize in one or two areas, Mondesí proved it was possible to dominate multiple facets of the game at once. These 30-30 seasons cemented his reputation as a dual threat, someone who demanded constant attention from opposing managers every time he stepped up to the plate or reached base. Beyond the statistical recognition, those seasons reinforced the respect Mondesí commanded from teammates and opponents alike. He played with intensity and aggression, unafraid to take risks, something reflected in both his powerful hitting and his daring stolen base attempts. Being a 30-30 player is synonymous with elite status and the fact that Mondesí accomplished this more than once shows that his versatility was no fluke, but rather the result of true talent and full dedication to the game. To this day, those numbers stand as high points in his career and as testimony to how rare a player he truly was in the MLB landscape. After building the foundation of his career with the Los Angeles Dodgers, where he established himself as a rising star, Raúl Mondesí entered a new phase as he moved through several Major League Baseball teams. His first major transition came when he was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays, where he continued to display his power at the plate and dominant presence in right field. In Toronto, between 2000 and 2002, Mondesí maintained solid offensive numbers and still showed flashes of the explosiveness that defined his early years, becoming a key piece in the Canadian lineup. Although injuries began to surface, his ability to impact games was still evident. Next, Mondesí had a notable stint with the New York Yankees, a team that acquired him in 2002 seeking immediate help in the outfield. Wearing the uniform of one of baseball's most storied franchises, he experienced moments of high visibility, contributing with clutch hits and a cannon arm on defense. While his stay in the Bronx was brief, his performance was strong enough to draw interest from other clubs. He soon played for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Pittsburgh Pirates, where his experience and leadership became increasingly valued by teams aiming to balance youth and veteran presence. Even as age-related decline naturally set in, Mondesí remained a useful and respected player on every team he joined. His journey through multiple franchises not only highlighted the longevity of his career, but also the adaptability of his game, which could adjust to different environments and challenges. While he never quite replicated the explosive numbers from his peak years with the Dodgers, Mondesí stayed relevant through his final MLB appearances. His path through various cities also reinforced his image as a true international ambassador for baseball, carrying the name of the Dominican Republic to stadiums across the league. Raúl Mondesí was not just an offensive force, he also made a major impact on defense, especially in right field. His arm was one of his trademarks, combining raw strength with pinpoint accuracy. Opposing base runners thought twice before trying to take an extra base when Mondesí was in the outfield. Fans would often rise to their feet in anticipation, knowing that a throw from him could turn an ordinary play into a spectacular out. His ability to launch the ball long distances with speed and precision made him one of the most feared outfield defenders of his generation during his years with the Dodgers, Blue Jays, and Yankees. Mondesí racked up outfield assists at a rate well above league average. He had quick reads on the ball and the athletic burst to reach tough plays with ease. But it was when he had to make a throw that his defense truly stood out. His lasers from the outfield corner to home plate or third base were electrifying. Many opposing managers avoided putting their runners in risky situations against him, knowing that a bold base-running move could quickly backfire thanks to Mondesí's arm. This defensive talent earned him comparisons to some of the most iconic outfielders of the modern era when it came to arm strength. Although defensive stats often get less attention than offensive numbers, Mondesí left a clear mark in that part of the game. His defense not only saved runs, but changed the course of entire games. He was a defender who commanded respect, and that alone had enormous tactical value for any team. In the end, Mondesí's defense was just as thrilling and impactful as his hitting, further solidifying his reputation as a complete player. Raúl Mondesí's career was defined not only by his MLB accomplishments, but also by his deep ties to baseball in the Dominican Republic. Before making it big in the United States, Mondesí was already a respected prospect in the local circuit, participating in Caribbean tournaments and proudly representing Dominican talent. He grew up immersed in a culture that loves baseball, where the sport is more than a game, it's a national identity. These early years were crucial for developing his skills and for forging a lasting emotional connection with Caribbean baseball, a connection he would never abandon. Even after reaching stardom in MLB, Mondesí remained active in international tournaments and Caribbean winter leagues, especially the renowned Dominican Winter League, LITM. In these competitions, he wore the uniform of teams like Tigres del Licey, keeping his bond with home alive and inspiring new generations of players. His appearances in Dominican stadiums drew large crowds, who saw in him an international success story that stayed true to his roots. Unlike many athletes who focus solely on their U.S. careers, Mondesí made it a point to return and give back to the game in his homeland whenever possible. He also participated in tournaments featuring Caribbean and Latin American national teams, acting as an informal ambassador for Dominican baseball talent. His commitment to both local and international competitions showed a deep respect for his country's jersey and the growth of baseball beyond the MLB spotlight. These efforts further strengthened his image as a player deeply connected to his roots and the cultural legacy of Dominican baseball. In short, Mondesí was more than an international star. He was a symbol of national pride who made sure to give back to Caribbean baseball for all it had given him. After hanging up his cleats and closing the chapter on a remarkable sports career, Raúl Mondesí took an uncommon path for former baseball players. He entered the political arena in his homeland. Driven by a desire to contribute to his community in a new way, Mondesí became actively involved in public life in the Dominican Republic. His popularity as a sports icon was a major asset, opening doors and earning the trust of the people of San Cristobal, his hometown. The respect he had earned on the field would now be tested on a different kind of playing field, the political one. In 2010, he was elected mayor, syndic, of San Cristobal, a position he held with the commitment to improve the city's social and urban conditions. During his term, he promised to invest in infrastructure, education, and social programs, trying to apply the same determination he had shown on the baseball field to his public administration. Expectations were high, especially from a population that saw him as an accessible figure, someone who understood local realities and could fight for real change. Mondesí embraced the challenge with national visibility and, for a time, was seen as a symbol of political renewal in the Dominican Republic, particularly with the emergence of popular figures from outside the traditional political sphere. However, his political path would eventually be marked by controversy. After his term ended, accusations of corruption and misuse of public funds emerged, tarnishing his image and leading to legal proceedings. In 2017, he was convicted by the Dominican justice system for administrative corruption committed during his time as mayor, bringing a dramatic end to his political foray. This downfall revealed the difficulties many idols face when transitioning into other fields without the necessary preparation. Even so, his political career remains a significant chapter in Raúl Mondesí's life, a complex portrait of a man who, with both successes and failures, tried to serve his community beyond the baseball field. Raúl Mondesí's legacy is both fascinating and controversial. On the baseball diamond, he was a spectacle, an athlete who challenged defenses with his bat, applied constant pressure on the bases with his speed, and shut down scoring threats with his powerful outfield throws. He was the kind of player who could change the pace of a game with a single play, and because of that, he remains etched in the memories of fans as one of the most electrifying talents of the 1990s. Even during the era of power hitters, his combination of offensive and defensive tools made him stand out, especially because he managed to blend raw power with refined agility. However, his public image took a serious hit with the controversial end of his political career. The transition from baseball to politics exposed weaknesses not seen on the field: poor management, allegations of corruption, and a criminal conviction that stained his name. For many, it was difficult to reconcile the athletic hero with the politician embroiled in scandals. This contrast underscores how sports stardom often doesn't guarantee a clean path in other areas of public life, especially in challenging environments like Latin American politics. Still, Raúl Mondesí's importance to baseball, particularly to the Dominican Republic, remains. He helped strengthen the Caribbean presence in Major League Baseball and inspired young athletes to believe that it was possible to go beyond their borders with talent and hard work. His son, Adalberto Mondesí, carried on that sporting legacy, keeping the family name alive in MLB. Despite the shadows outside of sports, Raúl Mondesí is remembered by many as a symbol of the complete player, one who thrilled crowds with his energy, charisma, and ability to dominate all aspects of the game. His legacy, therefore, is ambiguous, but undeniably significant. Raúl Mondesí's journey is a powerful portrait of the complexities surrounding talent, fame, and personal choices. At the peak of his career, he was synonymous with spectacle, an athlete who brought together speed, power, and precision like few others in baseball history. His outfield throws, explosive home runs, and daring base running made him a hero not only to Dodgers fans, but to baseball lovers around the world who admired intense, passionate players. He was a reference point for young Dominicans dreaming of making it to the big leagues. What also makes Mondesí a remarkable figure is the contrast between his brilliance on the field and the challenges he faced off it. His decision to enter politics in the Dominican Republic showed an ambitious and patriotic side, someone who wanted to give back to his people and use his influence to help his community. It was a bold step, unusual for former players, and initially brought hope and positive expectations. But over time, the accusations, investigations, and convictions followed. Headlines that once celebrated his baseball feats now highlighted scandals and arrests. This drastic shift in image is both tragic and deeply human. Mondesí ceased to be just a sports hero and became a complex character, someone who faced the extreme highs and lows of public life. And this transition invites us to reflect on the weight of responsibility that comes with fame. Despite the controversies, it is impossible to ignore his impact on the sport. His 30-30 seasons, his intimidating presence in the outfield, and his aggressive playing style helped shape an era of MLB. Many still remember his plays with admiration, and some even say that if he had stayed focused solely on baseball, his name might be more strongly associated with the Hall of Fame than with the political pages of the newspapers. He was, without a doubt, one of the most exciting athletes of his generation. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you'll be alerted whenever we post new content. Oh, and don't forget to leave a comment and share this with your friends. Raúl Mondesí's legacy, therefore, is ambiguous, yet still meaningful. He represents not only athletic triumph, but also the risks of a poorly managed path outside the sport. His story reminds us that talent, no matter how great, does not guarantee a mistake-free journey, and that every decision made after glory can redefine how an idol is remembered. Ultimately, Mondesí's story invites us to reflect on what truly defines a person's legacy. Is it just the numbers and trophies, or also the lessons they leave for future generations? Perhaps his greatest achievement was exactly that, showing that even the brightest stars are human, full of virtues, flaws, and winding paths, and that even in their falls, there's something to be learned. Until the next journey, dear baseball fans,